sport. Have your call. Hello, Canada, and those of you watching and listening around the world. The Shaw Road to the Grey Cup. It's the CFL Eastern Final. The been there and done that Ticats, the worst to first REDBLACKS.
That's the story, but the REDBLACKS have this guy, and he's been there, done that, and he's looking to do it again. Henry Boris, the most outstanding player in the CFL's East Division this season, a favorite to win the award. They need him to be outstanding today, and one guy the Tiger Cats need to have step up as they look for their defense to lead the way is the East Division's nominee for the most outstanding defensive player, weak side linebacker number 21, Simone Lawrence.
Kent Austin has taken his team to the last two Grey Cup games. It's been a year of adversity. He lost his star quarterback, of course. Zach Collaros will go with Jeremiah Masoli today. And on the other side, Rick Campbell, the son of the legend, Hugh Campbell. Last year, 2-16, a remarkable turnaround, 12-6 for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Temperature, 3 degrees Celsius, feels like -1. Place is jammed and jacked. Brandon Banks is back. Chris Milo's ready to kick this baby off into the wind. Red, black, black, gold. A week away from the Grey Cup game. Ball just fell off the tee with the wind, so Chris Milo is going to get a little assistance here. Place is jumping. Wind could be a big factor. REDBLACKS did win the coin toss, deferred to the second half. The 2015 CFL Eastern Final. Away we go. Back for it is Brandon Banks. A year ago, 2 returns in the Eastern Final on the way to the Grey Cup game. And so Jeremiah Masoli, only his 3rd start as a CFL quarterback, brings his team to the field.
Masoli threw for just about 140 yards in last week's game. They may need a little more out of him. He'll also look for help from his running back, C.J. Gable, who's been productive against Ottawa this season. Mark Dial at right tackle started his first game of the year last week. In the receiving core, Luke Tasker's there, but also no Terrell Sinkfield. Kealoha Polaris makes his CFL debut today.
They hand it off right away to Gable. And this ferocious defense. David Hines brings him down, linebacker. Let's talk about this defense. A year ago, they gave up so many points and so many yards. They didn't give up much this year.
No, they sure didn't. This group has really grown. A lot of guys in their second year with the team, but a newcomer, Sean Lemon, has had an immediate impact. Tomaso Munoz, a monster in the middle, and Abdul Kane, a game changer at corner.
Masoli stands in, and it is caught by Bakari Grant, and a first down. Interesting number, Dwayne Ford. The Hamilton Tiger Cats put up a lot of points this year. They were last in the CFL on first down yardage. They were first in the CFL on second down conversions.
Well, and a lot of clutch throws like this, as you mentioned in the opening. Usually it was Zach Collaros making those throws, then Jeff Matthews, but Jeremiah Masoli looking comfortable out of the gate here with a big second down conversion there to Bakari Grant.
27-year-old former Oregon Duck, also played at Ole Miss. Masoli goes one way, now the other. He can do this, and still on his feet. And Jeremiah Masoli close to a first down. That is what he can do. He is a dual threat quarterback. He showed those flashes in college.
He certainly did. Just a look at Jeremiah Masoli a week ago against the Toronto Argonauts in that East Division semifinal. Not a ton of yards through the air, but he did use his feet to extend plays and did throw that big 40-yard strike to Bakari Grant for Hamilton's only touchdown.
Cats won, of course, on the Justin Medlock field goal to eliminate the Argos and make their way to their 3rd straight Eastern Final. There is an injury on the field, and it is D lineman Moten Hopkins who's down being attended to.
Well, Mo Hopkins has been one of the unsung heroes of this Ottawa REDBLACKS defense. A high motor guy, one of the real leaders of this group from his defensive tackle position. You're going to see him in pursuit right in the middle of your screen.
go to the sideline. Team that has dressed 10 D linemen. Most of those will play on special teams. Rick Campbell now as it's second down for the Cats. And a yard to go, and they'll get their first down. Last time that Jeremiah Masoli played in a big football game like this, like last week, but certainly with title hopes on the line. Back a few years ago, he was the MVP of the Holiday Bowl. Then the last significant game he played in college in 2010 in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State.
Yeah, so Jeremiah Masoli has some pedigree in terms of big games, but as you mentioned, the key is that it's been a while since he's found himself in this situation. Big stage here, much at stake. A trip to the Grey Cup playing against the first-place Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Clustered formation, C.J. Gable left side. No running room. Stuffed near the 45-yard line. They even lost a half yard. It's going to be second down, throwing down here for Masoli and company.
Nice secondary support there. David Hines, weak side linebacker. He found his way into the starting lineup late in the season as middle linebacker Malik Jackson was hurt. Damaso Munoz bumped into the middle, and Hines found himself in that starting lineup. He's been rolling from that spot. Very productive player.
Luke Tasker's normally been their second down guy. Masoli now the option. Takes off, and Jeremiah Masoli gives it off now to C.J. Gable, and Masoli has a first down with Gable's help when they play the option to perfection as Masoli pitches it out about 10 yards downfield, and the Cats continue to drive the football.
And what you're seeing here is an indication of how the Hamilton Tiger Cats have restructured their offense with Jeremiah Masoli under center. The option wasn't the kind of thing we saw early on, but now got to play to Masoli's strengths rather than the strengths of Zach Collaros or Jeff Matthews. A great job there by Gable of maintaining the option relationship downfield.
Masoli swinging it out far side for Grant. Wrapped up, brought down on that far side by Brandon Thompson. So it's going to be second down once again, and Jeremiah Masoli already showing what he can do with his feet.
Yeah, and again, a lot of credit to Kent Austin, and of course offensive coordinator Tommy Condell, who's done a nice job making adjustments in the things that the Tiger Cats do. Your job as a coach is to put your players in the best possible position to succeed. They're doing that with the play calling.
Masoli in trouble now, swings it out and caught, and Luke Tasker has another first down as Masoli faced some heat there, but now it will be first and goal for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and it's Mr. Second Down himself, the son of Steve Tasker, Luke Tasker, with a clutch catch again.
Well, love the patience and the toughness here by Jeremiah Masoli. He knows he's going to take a shot, but if he can wait just that extra split second, that window will open up to Tasker, and it did.
Masoli wants to go again. There's the option once more. C.J. Gable cutting back inside the 5-yard line. So it will be second down and goal now for the Cats. And they've been chewing up the clock already. Almost 5 minutes gone, and they've had the football the entire time.
Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are so fortunate to have C.J. Gable back in this lineup as well. Such a good fit, as you're seeing with Jeremiah Masoli. This is a guy who averaged over 6 yards a carry during the regular season and limited action due to injury.
Masoli himself. Masoli stopped at the 2-yard line. Jeremiah Masoli looks like an NBA point guard out there, wanting to dish it off at times, and that time he decided to take it up the gut and now looks to the sideline where it's going to be third down. They're going to take the points here. They're going to bring Justin Medlock out, and actually they've spotted that ball near the 3-yard line. So this long drive for the Cats, the best they'll have here is a field goal attempt by Justin Medlock.
And the challenge you have in this situation from a coaching perspective, you're looking at two things. Number one, you want to make sure you get something because you don't want to kill the momentum that you've built with this drive. But at the same time, I'm sure in the back of Kent Austin's mind, he's wondering, how many opportunities are we going to get down this close? Should we go for it?
The guy who ended the game last week starts this week off with the first points on the board for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Justin Medlock, field goal, 3-0. So now, Henry Burris, it's your turn. 40 years young, MOP season, trying to lead his REDBLACKS to the Grey Cup. Gouda bacon cheeseburger and bacon fondue fries. Wendy's, now that's better. And by Shaw, proud sponsor and fan of the Canadian Football League. Sun out now. 5 minutes gone. 3-0 Cats. Eastern Final. Henry Burris, his first series with his offense, put up more yards offensively than any other offense this season. Going deep right away. It's caught far sideline. Greg Ellingson, who had a spectacular season, starts it off in spectacular fashion.
Well, Greg Ellingson is going to line up at that 2 receiver spot, and he's going to attack that deep outside. Emmanuel Davis, key defender and halfback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. No outside help that time. Lots of room to work for Ellingson on that corner route.
Burris airing it out again. And once again, slant pattern. Right back to him. A 32-yarder to start, followed by a 20-yarder. Back-to-back Ellingson.
Greg Ellingson had a monstrous season finale that pushed him over 1,000 yards against these Hamilton Tiger Cats. 8 catches, over 140 yards in that ball game. The Red Blacks are picking up right where they left off, looking for number 82, the former Tie Cat.
Few former Cats, Burris, of course, Ellingson and Chris Williams, all a little something to prove, all with a chip on their shoulder pad today. The handoff and up the middle. William Powell, featured tailback, came late in the season. Jeremiah Johnson's ready to go, but will not play today.
But as you take a look at the starters to watch for Ottawa, of course, Sir Vincent Rogers solidified that O-line at the left tackle spot. William Powell, you see the numbers, over 200 yards on the ground in his 2 games against Hamilton late in the season. We talked about Greg Ellingson, who led this team with 9 receiving touchdowns this year.
Some confusion now. The play clock's coming down. Late substitution. They're inside the red zone. The Red Blacks right now. 5 seconds on the play clock. Henry Burris is going to have to hurry here. Gets it off now. He's throwing again. Goal line. Another catch. Well, so far, it's been the Burris-Ellingson show.
Again, they found a combination they liked late in the season. They're going back to it right here. Linebacker Eric Harris is the man that's going to get caught in the one-on-one matchup with Greg Ellingson. Red Blacks will take that matchup anytime.
Looking to score, they do! Touchdown, Ottawa! William Powell up the middle. What a start here for the Ottawa Red Blacks. First drive, all Burris, all Ellingson. William Powell touchdown. They scored more touchdowns on opening series, opening possessions than any other team this season, and they've started the Eastern Final in the same fashion. Chris Milo, the 32-yard point after. And here in Ottawa, when they score a touchdown, they saw off a wood cookie. There's the first. We're off to a flying start here. William Powell out of Kansas State, finishing off an impressive start for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Well, it's pretty simple to describe everything that happened up to that point. Burris to Ellingson, Burris to Ellingson, Burris to Ellingson. That was the heavy lift, and William Powell had the easy part.
Right now he's being worked on the sideline. Brandon Banks, the game changer in the Eastern Final last year.
They're going to need him to be a difference maker here today.
Banks trying to find a seam. Squirts out near the 34-yard line. 6:14 to go. Jeremiah Masoli. Only his 3rd CFL start. First ever start in an Eastern Final. Good first drive. His team down, though, 7-3. First quarter. On TSN is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. The road to the Grey Cup in Winnipeg next week goes through Ontario and Alberta. Edmonton later today. Battle of Alberta. Ottawa right now, Battle of Ontario. 7-3 REDBLACKS. Masoli. CJ Gable's got room and a couple blocks up near the 50-yard line. Big play. Like 15 or 16 yards for CJ Gable on the screen pass, the dump pass from Masoli.
Well, the Tiger Cats do a nice job timing things up, getting the big boys out in front. You see Landon Rice, Tim O'Neill trying to pave the path here for CJ Gable.
Missed a lot of the season with injury early on, like Andy Fantuz did as well. As he was looking for Fantuz, it's picked off. Intercepted. The Ottawa REDBLACKS. Brandon Thompson, as Masoli was looking for Andy Fantuz. Two teams that led the CFL in interceptions this season. And the D block, the secondary, comes up big for the REDBLACKS.
And this is a ball that's just a little bit ahead of the receiver, Andy Fantuz. Brandon Thompson right in that hip pocket. May have slowed Fantuz down a little bit as he came off that break. Great reaction to that football by Thompson, who had 3 picks during the regular season.
Burris again. That's dropped on the far side. Mo Price can't hang on.
And some key guys to watch here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Of course, Simone Lawrence, one of the keys defensively. Emmanuel Davis, 6 interceptions, 12 knockdowns, very good pass defender. Now, Arnaud Gascon-Nadon starts at defensive end for the injured Eric Norwood this week. Gascon-Nadon, the Canadian, only guy ever to win the Metros Trophy twice as CIS football's top lineman.
Thrown into the fire. Here comes the rush. The football is incomplete. So the REDBLACKS aren't going to be able to capitalize with points off that turnover. They'll punt the football back with just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And that was a key defensive stand for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A time with momentum building for the REDBLACKS after a quick touchdown drive and, of course, the turnover.
Chris Milo will handle the kicking and the punting. Another former Laval star. This is a good boot into the breeze. Banks makes a couple miss. They corral Speedy B near the 28. Well, it's been a long time coming. 32 years since they last had a playoff game here in Ottawa. The wait is over. They're loving it. 27-year-old Jeremiah Masoli getting ready to roll here. Let's go down to the sideline and join Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, in 2013, Jeremiah Masoli and Henry Burris were roommates with the Ticats, and on those road trips there were lots of conversations between Burris and his younger understudy. And Henry Burris told Jeremiah Masoli, Jeremiah, push all the personal life stuff out of the way. Preparation and leadership on and off the field are key to being a starting quarterback in the CFL. Masoli told me this week that those conversations were so key, especially now that Masoli, as we mentioned last week, worked his way from the practice squad of the Ticats all the way to the starting quarterback position. And when I asked how he feels measuring his composure up against Burris, Masoli said, I wouldn't have it any other way. Guys.
Well, listen, this is a great story, Matthew. Thank you so much. Understudy, the veteran. Guys who were roommates at one time. Masoli play action now. Now a little juke and a shake out there. And Masoli using the feet once again. And making the catch in his first CFL game. Kealoha Polaris. First game, CFL debut, fills in for Terrell Sinkfield. First CFL catch.
Yeah, this is, in case you wondered why those last 2 games of the regular season were so critical as these 2 teams met head-to-head, why they treated them like playoff games, why they weren't just happy to be in the playoffs and they wanted to buy so badly. Look at the cost of playing last week for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They lose a 1,000-yard receiver and a game breaker in Terrell Sinkfield on offense and a real difference maker on defense in Eric Norwood.
Second down, out of the backfield again is Gable. Gable now, first down and more, and CJ Gable up near the 52-yard line. And you are so right about the game last week and the fact they lost Norwood and Sinkfield. They gain a lot Polaris, who also played in the National Football League with Carolina. But this guy is going to be a huge key today, C.J. Gable.
Yeah, no question about that. C.J. Gable is your triple threat running back. Obviously very good on the ground. A terrific receiver, a guy who's had 100-yard receiving game, but an outstanding blocker.
Masoli pitching it out far side. Andy Fantuz has the catch. And it looks like they'll move the sticks once more. And so far, Jeremiah Masoli, despite that hiccup, the interception, is showing some poise.
Yeah, well, and I think Jeremiah Masoli, as you see his offensive coordinator, Tommy Condell, is playing to his strengths. You credit the game plan for that, putting him in a position to do what he's comfortable doing, getting on the move. You saw the option plays used a lot on their opening series. He doesn't mind scrambling around a little bit, working off script, if you will. But I think his coaching staff is comfortable with him doing that.
It was second and short, so they'll move the sticks now into Ottawa territory, coming down to the 2-minute mark, and what has been a very entertaining first half, highly offensive already. And look at this, Luke Tasker's thrown to Andy Fantuz. You're kidding me. A gadget from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Did not see that one coming. Luke Tasker plays quarterback as Masoli pitches it out.
But look at the protection in front of him, the receivers as well as the O-line do a great job blocking it up to give Tasker time to get his eyes downfield and make a good decision here. Perfectly placed throw, great extension by Fantuz to set him up deep in Red Blacks territory.
Ken Austin out of his bag of tricks. Masoli stands in, goal line, Fantuz is going to be stopped there. No touchdown signal, but Andy Fantuz, 3 huge catches on this drive, and people are going to be talking about that pass from Luke Tasker for a while.
Again, the Hamilton Tiger Cats come into this ball game in a position where people may see them as a little bit challenged.
Penalty flag just flew, touchdown, but let's see what it is. First penalty of the ball game as Masoli kept and went in for the touchdown.
Offside.
And it is going to be a touchdown.
Penalties decline. Result play is a touchdown.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats punch right back. Huge plays. Kent Austin, some razzle-dazzle that leads to that touchdown.
Yeah, the biggest play, of course, that slot back option pass. You see the plunge there by Masoli. But Hamilton comes into the game in a situation where, playing it strictly by the book, they may not be able to match Ottawa offensively. That's understood. You've got Jeremiah Masoli making just his 3rd career start. So you need to get creative, create some opportunities. They did just that, executed it perfectly. Big play, Tasker to Fantuz to set up that touchdown.
Again, Masoli showing some confidence so far and some savvy in that pocket. They picked apart the Red Blacks on that drive and have certainly silenced this stadium in this first quarter as the Ticats move in front 10-7.
I don't think that there's not a recognition of the need to keep the crowd out of this football game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They played here just 2 weeks ago in the regular season finale, a game that had a playoff-like atmosphere as it had playoff implications. They understand the crowd here at TD Place can become a factor. You're on the road in the playoffs. You don't want to have to go to things like silent count and so on to manage offensively, and a big way to do that is to manage the momentum, come up with some big plays of your own, not give up the big plays the other way.
48 seconds to go in the first quarter. This game is starting to look like the last game these two teams played only a couple of weeks ago. High-scoring affair, back and forth. We've had some fireworks already. What a start here. Shamil Smith. Well, he's got a couple blocks here. Smith now outside, and special teams have been a concern. They haven't had many big plays, and there's a big penalty flag on that far side. Looks like unnecessary roughness as Smith was knocked out of bounds. This could help the Red Blacks a little more.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 22. 15 yards from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Courtney Stephen, the infraction, it goes right into Hamilton territory.
And you'll see Stephen come in late. He was lining up that shot, but Smith got taken out of bounds by a teammate. Stephen continued through into that collision. That'll tack a few extra yards onto the end of what was already a very good return for Jamil Smith.
Double tight end formation this time for the Red Blacks. First down and 10 from the 51. They'll have the wind in the next quarter. Burris hanging in again. Good protection for both quarterbacks so far. Half the first down yardage. Scott McDonnell making the catch. Hasn't had a lot of playing time this season. Only 2 catches during the regular season for the former star from Queens. So barring penalty, final play, a wild first quarter. Second down and 5 for the Red Blacks. Ticats loaded up here. Here comes the heat. Near side, Chris Williams turns. Now Williams first down to the 32-yard line. Another ex-Ticat. Something to prove. That's the first quarter. Teams will change ends. Red Blacks will have the wind. Back and forth they go. Ottawa, Hamilton, Eastern final. Getting it started with a bang here in the nation's capital. Tiger Cats have a 10-7 lead. Lots of offense so far. Masoli is 8 of 9. Henry Burris is 5 of 7. So much for being a defensive game early on.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in this football game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats is the way they've answered the bell right from the get-go. If you could go back to that Week 20 matchup, the biggest issue for Hamilton was that the Red Blacks came out on fire, swinging, fired up, throwing for the fences, if you will. And Hamilton was caught back on their heels and found themselves in a hole early without the firepower really to fight back. In this game, they've been ready from the opening kickoff. They've had a couple of very successful drives. They've answered the bell right from the start, and that's going to be critical to any success they're going to have today.
It's going to be a very interesting chess match as this progresses. Second quarter underway. William Powell cutting back, gaining some positive yardage when for a moment it looked like it might be negative. So it'll be second and medium for the Red Blacks. Again, operating with the wind. Wind expected to pick up and the temperature expected to plummet this afternoon, but it's still not a bad day considering that snow was in the forecast yesterday. Second down and 6 for Burris from the Hamilton 29-yard line. Sends out 5. And underneath has his man, and Ernest Jackson plows his way inside the 15-yard line. And Ernest Jackson, one of those receivers that Marcel Desjardins went out and got in the offseason, went on a shopping spree and came up with 5 beauties.
5 new receivers, 4 of whom ended up with over 1,000 yards receiving. Ernest Jackson started off at tight end on the far side of the field, but when things broke down a little bit, he worked his way across the formation to get into a line of vision for quarterback Henry Burris. Nice job after the catch as well.
Hands it off again to Powell. Swallowed up near the 10-yard line. Looks like it's going to be another throwing down here for the Red Blacks. We've seen both air attacks so far and cannot say enough about what Jason Moss, former CFL quarterback, has done for the Red Blacks as their OC this year.
Yeah, no question about that. Everybody talks about the new receivers beefing up the offensive line, but Jason Moss just may be their most valuable offseason acquisition.
Second down and 6. They can take it down inside the 3 and go first and goal, or just go to the end zone right here, right now. Burris, though, now has to scramble. decides to take it himself. He'll score! Touchdown! Henry Burris. The 40-year-old teenager does it again.
Remember that knee that he banged up in the season's penultimate weekend. Henry Burris's wheel looks just fine here. He sees a lane. Nice block on the edge. North-south, and he wins that meeting at the goal line with Simone Lawrence to take it in for 6.
Point after again by Milo. Buries it. How much fun is this so far? Do you like offense? The Eastern Finals for you. Henry Burris, Old Man River, just keeps rolling along. Can't run anymore. 7 rushing touchdowns. A lot of them plunges, albeit in the regular season. Here's number 1 in this Eastern Final, and a collision with Simone Lawrence. And the former teammates still got something going, don't they?
A little bit of fire there. Henry Burris comes out on top that time. Big collision at the goal line. Great block there by Brad Sinopoli, by the way, to free Henry Burris.
Trying to set up a return for Brandon Banks. Not this time. Down at the 29. And of course, Lawrence and Burris have had ongoing conversation the last few weeks. Remember the hit to the knee of Henry Burris by Lawrence. Burris called it a cheap shot, a dirty play. Simone said, hey, that's the way he plays. A lot of talk. It almost took Henry Burris out of any future playoff plans. His leg is braced up. But I'll tell you what, he looked good there.
He sure did. As far as that incident, I think both those guys have moved on to that with much bigger things on their respective plates right now.
Bobbled snap. Mazzoli takes a lick up near the 35-yard line. And he is hurt. Jeremiah Mazzoli.
This is the challenge of playing this style of offense, given your situation at quarterback.
He took an hellacious hit.
You're obviously playing to Jeremiah Mazzoli's strengths, allowing him to run around and so on. But you're already down 2 quarterbacks. Mazzoli's starting because Ja'Cory Harris was ineffective against Ottawa in the last game of the regular season. It was actually Harris that started the Week 20 matchup after Jeff Matthews was hurt the week before.
He took a hit to the head. Got sandwiched there, and Antoine Pruneau right there, and another hit underneath as Jarrell Gavin's got a piece of him, and Jeremiah Mazzoli is down. Ja'Cory Harris will come in. 14-10 ball game here in Ottawa in the East Final. Grey Cup continues next. The Gunslingers, Mitchell and Riley, Stampeders, Eskimos. Western Final. 2 14-4s up next after this one. Jeremiah Mazzoli's being taken to the bench. Try to get an update shortly with Matthew Shinetti. That could be concerning, especially the start that Jeremiah Mazzoli's had.
Little question of that again. Mazzoli ended up starting because Harris struggled against this Ottawa defense 2 weeks ago.
So Ja'Cory Harris comes out firing. C.J. Gable on second down will not get to the line of scrimmage, so they'll lose a couple yards and they'll have to boot the ball away. More concerning for Hamilton is the state of Jeremiah Mazzoli. This is a team that has been decimated by injury. When you consider all season long, Zach Collaros was having an MOP season, and then the quarterback started to fall like dominoes.
Yeah, their depth has been tested in every way, shape, and form. We've talked about it at other positions, but obviously at the most important position, they're being put to the test. Zach Collaros down, Jeff Matthews down, now Jeremiah Mazzoli down, at least for the time being.
Jamil Smith in the shadows, trying to fight his way out near the 44-yard line. Chess match continues as well between Jason Moss and that man, Orlando Steinauer. More on that battle. Let's go down to Paul LaPolice, the coach.
The Red Blacks, they have better yak yards. Yards after catch than any team in the CFL. 500 more yards. Talked to Orlando Steinauer before the game. He said they've got to do the great. They take pride in tackling. Key to this game is make sure they tackle these very good receivers, guys.
Thank you, Paul LaPolice, on the sideline with us today. 14-10 game. Henry Burris from the pocket, going deep again and trying to find his target, Ellingson, who began this game with 3 straight receptions and then the touchdown that followed by William Powell. Burris thought he had him for a moment.
Well, that's the second time we've seen, if you think back to the game's opening play for Ottawa offensively, where they've tried to get Greg Ellingson on that corner route where he's working against the halfback playing with inside leverage, giving him lots of space to the outside of the field to try and get open.
Burris now, good protection. Now he has to move the pocket, had running room, will take it himself. A step out of bounds on second down will not get to the first down marker. And so now, after all of that offense, defense is starting to stiffen up here in this second quarter.
We've got these two teams settling in a little bit for sure. You mentioned Ottawa, a team that so frequently scores on their opening drive of football games. They are notoriously fast starters. Hamilton doing a great job to match that. The D coordinators getting up to speed on what they're seeing now. And this is a great chess match that's really spanned a month when you consider this the third meeting between these teams in 4 weeks.
Brandon Banks down quickly at the 32-yard line. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats offense back on the field when we come back to Ottawa.
Welcome back to Ottawa, where the Red Blacks still lead the Ticats 14-10. These Ticat fans are sure happy to see Jeremiah Masoli back in the huddle. He went on the Ticats treatment table, got his right knee and ankle looked at, jogged around a bit, got it retaped, and now he's back on the field. Rob and Dwayne.
All right, that is good news. Thank you, Matthew, for the Cats with Jeremiah Masoli. Here's a guy, I don't think anything can knock him out of a ball game. All this stuff that he's had to go through the last couple of years, trying to find a job, getting a chance to play, all the adversity he has conquered will not keep him out of this. Little reverse to Speedy B. Brandon Banks hit hard up near the 42-yard line, but it's close to a first down once again for the Cats.
Well, the Ticats late in the season have done a nice job finding not so much different ways to get the ball into the hands of Brandon Banks, but giving different looks prior to putting the ball into his hands. They maybe become predictable at times in terms of the fact that when Banks was on the field, he was going to get the football. But now doing a really good job with different formations, a lot of misdirection. So there's a little bit less predictability to what's going to happen when 16 is in that offensive set.
Talked about Masoli's problems in the past, had some legal troubles in college, played for Chip Kelly at Oregon, then to Ole Miss. Had to get his head on straight, he said. Coming to Canada and working with Henry Burris in Hamilton has helped him out a lot. Wouldn't that be something if he could lead his team to the Grey Cup game? Masoli now scrambling again, goes over the top, what a catch. Clutch grab, and Andy Fantuz is drilled, but he has the first down. What a play by Masoli to dish it off to Fantuz up near the Ottawa 49.
Well, I love the little move right here by Masoli, just to retreat a little bit, but keeping the eyes downfield to buy himself more time, recognizing if he can just get a couple more seconds, he'll find somebody. He's right on the money for Fantuz.
There it is, the option once more. CJ Gable spins 4-yard pickup. Another interesting play from the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Well, we've seen Andy Fantuz busy in this football game as he and Jeremiah Masoli have developed a little more connection. They only hooked up for 1 catch last week for 0 yards.
Masoli now changes the play clock coming down. Fantuz, top of your screen, the wide out. Taekwon Underwood, who has not caught a pass, bottom of your screen. Play clock down to 3. Mazzoli stands in, goes over the top, and was looking for Bakari Grant, but he was unable to haul that in, and that looked like a catchable pass from Jeremiah Mazzoli.
Well, Grant looked like he was a little uncertain if that one was intended for him, whether distracted or whether his view of the ball coming out may have been obscured at the line of scrimmage, but his reaction to the ball was delayed.
Justin Medlock, that left foot, nice kick down near the 10-yard line. So a very long field now for the Red Blacks midway through the second quarter of the Eastern Final. Well, you can share your moments. Hashtag Mark's Fan Cam. 25,000 strong here, and a lot of Hamilton Tiger Cat fans as well. Go to that hashtag and share your fan moments. What an experience it has become here in Ottawa, Dwayne. What they have done. An amazing turnaround. The rebirth of Ottawa football. In a fairy tale season, and they keep it going. Now Powell. Rico Murray. Brandon Stewart the tackle up near the 20-yard line. Well, we know the Ottawa Red Blacks were the Renegades, and before that they were the Rough Riders. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it sure has. You see, the last time for each of these events in Ottawa football history. Last home playoff win, 1981.
Of course, the last Grey Cup win, 1976. The great finish. Clements to Gabriel, one of the greatest finishes ever against the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Tommy Clements to the great Tony Gabriel. So many great names through the years. Ottawa football, and that R, even though it's a red black now, has become so symbolic. Then, you know, they went through some lean years here and some bad ownership, quite frankly. Came back as the Renegades. Had some lean years there as well, and then it took a while before this new current ownership, including Jeff Hunt, John Ruddy, and Roger Greenberg, brought football back. It has been a major success story. Could you imagine last year when we were doing games, the 2-16 Red Blacks would be in this situation today?
Such a remarkable turnaround, but such a credit to that guy, Rick Campbell. His leadership has been phenomenal through adversity. You don't need leaders in tough times who are going to go silent and keep their heads down until the bullets stop flying. You need a guy who's going to step up and have something to say. And you think back to the open letter last year by Rick Campbell. It was put in the newspapers, an open letter to the fans talking about how they were going to be better. And he has absolutely delivered. Credit to his leadership.
And to General Manager Marcel Desjardins, who helped go out and get some weapons for this man, Henry Burris. Well, Rick Campbell's been around a lot of teams, and now the head coach here, and he has not seen anything quite like this.
Ever since I've got here, which I've said from the beginning, is there was a genuine love of having football back in Ottawa. It wasn't the marketing team and all that stuff. It was a genuine vibe in the city that people were excited about having football back in Ottawa, and you know, we're excited to be here playing at home in front of our hometown fans, and you know, we all want to get this done for the whole city.
Through the shadows, Burris is in trouble, and he will not get to that first down marker. So once again, Chris Milo will come out. Jock Climbing said something earlier, and Jock's an Ottawa boy who went on to play in the CFL, that I thought was very profound as well in the pregame show, about how many young fans are coming to the ball games here.
Yeah, well, one of the impressive things about the city of Ottawa, I mean, this is a great football city. Grassroots football here has been fantastic. Amateur football, you've got 2 universities in this city playing. I think we're now 3 years running where the top high school player in the country has come out of Ottawa football. So this is a great football city. It was just getting pro football back on track here, and now they've done it.
And the kick bouncing out of bounds, good one. They keep it out of the hands of Brandon Banks. They were looking to block that kick. 14-10 game. The Ottawa REDBLACKS, Hamilton Tiger Cats have been slugging it out here early on. 4:42 to go before halftime.
Jeremiah Masoli's set to stay at the helm here for the Tiger Cats. Interesting to see that at the start of every series, not just the quarterback getting the last minute instructions on the sidelines, but that entire offensive unit, so they can just take right to the field, as you see. Call that play from the line.
Masoli settles in the pocket again. Tight coverage far side, and Tasker makes the catch. It's going to be second down and medium once more. Luke Tasker, a 1,000-yard season, 76 catches.
Well, this is a great fundamental play by Luke Tasker. He's the number 3 receiver out to the field. And he hooks it up to the outside. Watch how he works back to the football. The defender, Bruno, was in a great position to knock it down, but because of what Tasker did, he was able to come back and make that catch, protect the ball.
Again, another precise pass. Masoli to Tasker right at the first down marker. And they will move the chains. Look at what Luke Tasker has done again. A guy who played for Tommy Condell and Austin in Cornell. Been a revelation north of the border, and we had some movement on the line. This play won't get off without a penalty flag.
Well, it looked like it might have been the right tackle.
Hamilton, number 59. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's Mark Dial. And, you know, I know the boys doing the East Semi last week talked about the fantastic job done by Mark Dial. This was a guy who was basically out this entire season. He had spent the previous 3 seasons with the Hamilton Tiger Cats on and off the roster, started a number of games, signed with Winnipeg as a free agent in the offseason. After being released, he was out. He was at home working. And when the Hamilton Tiger Cats went through some struggles, they've had injury issues on that O-line as well. The call went out to Dial as a guy who knows the system, was able to come back in and jump in, starting his first game since the middle of last season in the playoffs.
Hamilton's going to have to be quick here. Play clock's coming down to 6 on 1st and 15, and the crowd is amping up the noise. Down to 3 now, down to 2 now. Masoli's going to get it off. Going deep, he's got Underwood, he's got it, goodbye, touchdown, Hamilton. What a play. Touchdown strike as Underwood was behind everybody.
Well, Taekwon Underwood became the forgotten man in coverage here. The wide receiver, he's out to the field. Masoli gets great protection from his offensive line, and that double stick gone. 61 yards, perfectly placed football, beautifully run route. Congrats from Masoli, from his coach.
So Medlock again quiets this crowd.
Let's go!
Taekwon Underwood, former NFLer with the Jacksonville Jaguars, right at the 3-minute warning. Sends a warning to the Ottawa REDBLACKS. You better watch me. 66 yards to pay dirt. What a start for Jeremiah Masoli.
James Duthie back in Ottawa, and those are the boys out in Edmonton getting ready for part 2 of our CFL Division Final doubleheader. Rod and the boys, you'll hear from them previewing that. You'll hear from these guys here. Jock Climby seated, Paul Lapalisse just working his way back from the sidelines. All your first half analysis coming up, and it's been a dandy. Plenty to talk about, guys.
Oh, right you are, James Duthie. This has lived up to the hype so far, and who would have thought Jeremiah Masoli would be doing what he's doing so far. 17-14 now. Chris Williams on the return. 2.5 to go before halftime. Taekwon Underwood, latest to hit the end zone as these air attacks are in full tilt right now.
And you'll see Masoli gets decent time to stand in here. Time for this route to develop as he had double moves going on that wide side of the field, both Tasker and Underwood. the in and up, if you will, and just a great stick on the corner. Javon Johnson by Underwood got Johnson to bite, coming down on that in route before bursting back upfield.
Henry Burris now looking to get his team back in a field goal position at the very least here. We've had several lead changes already, and almost every drive the teams have scored. These are the top 2 passing teams in the nation. Keep in mind that the numbers might be a little skewed for the Hamilton Tiger Cats because Zach Collaros did put up a lot of those numbers early on, and they've struggled a little bit offensively. You'd never know that with the way Mazzoli's playing today.
No, Jeremiah Mazzoli, listen, he's going to gain confidence with every rep he gets. This is the first time in his CFL career Jeremiah Mazzoli has started 2 games in a row.
Burris had to throw quickly because the house was coming, and very quick 2 and out for the Red Blacks. Hamilton's going to get the ball back again with 2:15 to go before halftime. They were coming hard at Chris Milo last time. Let's see what they do this time. Well, they set up the return. With the wind, in the sun is Banks. Brandon Banks tried to duck underneath the tackle. A no-go. Jake Hardy, former Calgary Dino, downfield quickly. LCTV presents the North American exclusive of Adele live in London Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CTV.
First down.
So only the 4th penalty. A very clean ball game so far. Al Bradbury calling that penalty. And will send the ball back even further for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. How about Mazzoli's numbers?
Well, just remarkable. Anybody who predicted Jeremiah Mazzoli at this point would be 13 of 15 for 193 yards. You see there the tackle by Jake Hardy.
Once again, the Ticats late to come to the field. They huddle up around Kent Austin. And here they all come out as Ottawa's defense is ready to go. So they have their huddle on the sideline. Zoli straps up. Ready to go again. 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 18. Stands in once more to Fantuz. Oh, what a move by Andy Fantuz there. Will not get to the first down marker. One time, Andy Fantuz was without a doubt the best Canadian receiver in the CFL, and injuries have slowed him the last couple of seasons. Has not played very much, but he still has an enormous skill set.
Yeah, no question about that. I think as well as injuries, the development of other receivers here in Hamilton.
Mazzoli, another shimmer, a shake, a throw, and unable to hang on is the newcomer Polaris. Kealoha Polaris, the far sideline, so 2 and out go the Cats, and they'll boot it back.
Well, newcomer versus veteran. This one gets to Polaris. Javon Johnson arrives at just that second. Jars him enough to jolt that ball loose.
Polaris from Hawaii. Played in the NFL with the Carolina Panthers. So Medlock once more, and again into the wind. This is a floater. It's Smith. Cuts back and then gets near the 50-yard line. Henry Burris, MOP season. Had a lot of help, though.
He sure did. Brad Sinopoli, Ernest Jackson, Greg Ellingson, and of course, Chris Williams. 4 1,000-yard receivers, only the 3rd time in Canadian Football League history that a team has had 4 guys go over 1,000 yards receiving. A decade since it was last done by the Montreal Alouettes.
Heard a whole lot from Williams today yet, and on cue, up near the midfield stripe. Absolute game breaker, though. Chris Williams also something to prove to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Remember how there was some acrimony with Hamilton after he left to go to the NFL. contract situation forced him to go to the NFL. Then when he came back, he needed a place to play, ended up here in Ottawa. Loves it here. Once again, a slant that's thrown behind Williams on second down, and once again, 2 and out.
Certainly more possession changes in the final 2.5 minutes of this half than we had anticipated.
Old teammates, Justin Hickman, Henry Burris, who 2 years ago helped lead the Hamilton Tiger Cats to the Grey Cup game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He was cast aside for Zach Collaros. Left a bitter taste in his mouth and has found a new home, and a great home, he says, here in Ottawa. Milo now, the minute 19 to go. Bit of a low rider here. Banks. Some positive yardage up to the 21-yard line. So we've had 3 2-and-outs the last 4 drives, and we do have a penalty flag up near the 55. James Green slow to get up.
Hamilton, number 45. Half distance to goal. First down.
Another penalty on a return here by the Tiger Cats. So a long field. The 3-point advantage in this Eastern final.
Well, it's going to be important for Hamilton here to move the ball a little bit. A, in terms of field position, but B, to keep that clock moving, because if they do end up in a punt situation, they don't want to end up in a case where they're giving the ball back with Ottawa with the wind in field goal range. So need a first down here again, get enough time off the clock, be able to either run out the clock or at least get enough yardage to punt it out of field goal range.
Sure, that was being implored by head coach Ken Austin. Again, that strategy to have their huddle at the sideline and then get to the line of scrimmage. REDBLACKS look like they're loading it up here on Mazzoli. There's the end around, the reverse. Kealoha Polaris, just a rude welcome to the CFL from Damaso Munoz.
Well, we've seen that motion from Polaris a number of times on different plays, with whether it's been Mazzoli keeping the ball, whether he's been throwing the football, or whether Mazzoli has ended up handing the ball to someone else, whether Brandon Banks, CJ Gable, what have you. So it's a matter of time before Polaris, a guy who was a running back his first couple of years at Hawaii, took that football.
Here's a huge play. You called it, Dwayne Ford. Hamilton needs to get out of this hole. Have to get a first down. Far sideline, they're going to be short to Underwood with 44 to go and enough time on the clock. It's not like they can run it out here. So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Offense is coming off the field. Special team now for the Cats. This will be very interesting here because Ottawa has a very good chance to get this into at least field goal range before halftime.
And as you judge, I mean, Justin Medlock is a guy who, punting during the regular season, he took over both duties after Hugh O'Neill was hurt, but comes in punting, averaging just over 40 yards a punt.
So will he boot it? No, he won't. Decides to give up 2 rather than the possible 3 or more. Makes it a 1-point game, and that seems logical into that breeze.
That's a good decision given the wind, given Chris Milo has been very accurate this season. In fact, Milo, since joining the Ottawa REDBLACKS, has been perfect from 40+, 7 of 7.
So 37 to go. REDBLACKS will get the ball back and do have a chance to possibly march it into field goal range again in 37. That's time, but as you said before, that was a real costly penalty on that punt return. Twice the last 2 returns, and that change of field position has changed the complexion of the latter moments of this first half. That wind today is not subsiding. Remember that they defer to the second half. And who knows, a day like today, it could come down to the kickers like Milo or Medlock.
Oh, Medlock proving his clutch reputation last week. 47-yard walk-off field goal to eliminate the Toronto Argonauts from the playoffs.
So here's the rub for the Ticats. Even though they gave up 2 and will give Ottawa a longer field, again, Medlock has to kick into the wind. Likely going to try to keep this low. He will. Williams. Far side. Chris Williams. Out of bounds and right into field goal range. Another couple plays.
Oh, well executed return to the field here. You got a great look at the speed of Chris Williams.
First and 10 from the 47-yard line. Burris over the top. Cut down on the far sideline. Brad Sinopoli's first catch. Nominee in the East for the most outstanding Canadian. Peterborough native who played his college ball as a quarterback here in the city of Ottawa. 19 seconds. I'm sure Chris Milo would like a few more yards here. He's going to get them. Near hash mark. Down to 10. Low was Ernest Jackson hauling that in, so Milo will come out.
Oh, nice execution by the Ottawa REDBLACKS here in the final minute, both on special teams and offensively, to give themselves a chance to go into the halftime break with the lead.
So inside the 40-yard line. Thomas DeMarco with the hold.
Obviously the message for Brandon Banks is if it misses, you get it out of there no matter what.
Final play, first half. Kick is up and the kick is good. Back and forth. First half of the Eastern Final. The Ottawa REDBLACKS force a safety and then get this field goal from Chris Milo. Big one. Take the lead at the half. 19-17 for the hometown REDBLACKS in the CFL Eastern Final. For the hometown REDBLACKS in the CFL Eastern Final. Let's send it down to James Duthie.
All right, Rod, thanks.
In the Eastern Final, Ottawa REDBLACKS with 5 points late in that second quarter with a 19-17 lead over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Here's quarterback Jeremiah Mazzoli with Matthew Shinetti.
Jeremiah, I guess the first thing to ask is, how is your right leg feeling?
A little sore, but I'm all right. Thanks for asking.
In terms of the creativity with your playbook, the offense, how important was that in the first half, and how important the adjustment's going to be even more in the second half?
I think just that setting the tempo is enough to give us a little edge to be able to execute the plays that we want to.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Appreciate it.
Very polite young man. Thanks for asking. I don't think I've ever heard that from a football player. Kent Austin, Hamilton Tiger Cats. They will have the wind in the final quarter. Again, Hamilton won the toss and deferred to the second half. So here's the difference in ages are 40 and 26. Mazzoli, just his third career start.
Yeah, you mentioned the difference in ages, but the gap much wider, obviously, in terms of Canadian Football League experience. Starts in general and playoff experience. And the irony of Jeremiah Mazzoli now having made more playoff starts than regular season starts in his brief career.
Getting some help as well from Luke Tasker, who now has 2 completions in his CFL career. So we're underway here again. Ottawa with the win, third quarter. Hamilton in the fourth. Will Smith is dropped at the 29-yard line. So let's take a look. The first half leaders here as Henry Burris trots his offense out on the field for the second half.
Henry Burris getting it done by air and by land. 123 passing yards, 24 rushing yards, including a touchdown. Greg Ellingson, 3 catches, all in the first series for Ottawa. He's been quiet since, and William Powell averaging 5 yards a pop thus far in the run game.
Both teams were ignited early in the game. Out of the locker room, we'll see how they come out of the locker room here in this third quarter. Double tight end set for Burris. Steps up, pitches it out now. And William Powell has running room, turns up for a first down and a 15-yard pickup up near the 45. William Powell wasn't used a whole lot, did get a touchdown in that first half, but from short yardage.
Well, this is a nice job by the interior of the offensive line. See pressure from the outside, but the guys in the middle, center and guards, stone things at the line of scrimmage, which allows Henry Burris to step up and make that play.
Burris will change the play now, audibles, and has everybody in motion. Decides to hand it off. There goes Powell. William Powell again back to back. And William Powell, his eyes light up a little bit when he sees those tiger stripes, does it not?
Well, they certainly do. William Powell in those 2 season-ending games against the Hamilton Tiger Cats accumulated over 200 yards on the ground, 32 carries in those back-to-back contests.
Last game had 119 yards on 17 carries. Again, Burris. Powell in the backfield. Looks to throw. Over the top. It is caught! Up near the 25-yard line. Greg Ellingson once again started this ballgame off with 3 successive catches and starts the second half off with a big one here for 26.
And great timing here between quarterback and receiver. Henry Burris likes what he sees in terms of that separation. The halfback Emmanuel Davis giving just enough of a cushion. Burris zips it in there right on time, allowing Ellingson to secure it before the contact comes.
Quick start, high tempo offense again. Looking to that post pattern, and once again was looking for Brad Sinopoli. Sinopoli with 1 catch in the ball game. Again, the most outstanding Canadian candidate in the East this year. So Brad Sinopoli is going to be going to Grey Cup week in Winnipeg for sure. So will Henry Burris. Question is, will the rest of their teammates?
And that is to be determined in the next 27.5 minutes of football. And we've seen in this territory a number of times going to the wide field looking for that corner route.
2nd and 10. Burris now ducks out of 1 and throws over the top, and that was almost picked off by Rico Murray. Henry Burris had a lane there if he wanted. Not sure if he would have got the first down, but after all that, Chris Milo is going to come out and attempt a field goal.
Well, this is a nice job by Rico Murray to stay with the route. Sinopoli slides towards the middle of the field on the scramble as he sees Henry Burris on the move. Murray followed him in from that sideline, getting there in time to make a play. Rico Murray, who's played a number of different positions in the secondary over the last 3 seasons for the Tiger Cats, arguably their most versatile defender.
Milo up and through again. He's been money ever since he came over to join the Ottawa REDBLACKS. He's been money today. It's a 5-point ball game. This guy's been outstanding though. Jeremiah Masoli, just his 3rd CFL start in the biggest game of his pro career. Back at it in a moment. Week from today, the 103rd Grey Cup presented by Shaw kicks off in Winnipeg at Investors Group Field. Extended pregame coverage gets underway at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific across the TSN network. We know that. We just don't know who's going to play in the Grey Cup game. Calgary, Edmonton later. Right now, 5 points separating Hamilton and Ottawa. REDBLACKS lead 22-17. Nowhere to run there for C.J. Gable.
Gable in the first half of this football game, 8 touches, 48 yards. Expect him to continue to play a significant role. How about the percentage for Jeremiah Masoli? 15 of 18, 83%, over 200 yards through the air. Andy Fantuz, 1 catch for no gain last week. Very significant part of the offensive game plan. He's been the security blanket for Masoli thus far.
Masoli has had to switch his helmet out with Ja'Cory Harris. His speakers in there weren't working, and they're not working right now. He signaled to the sideline. Throws it into a window on the far side, and that's an outstanding catch from Bakari Grant, covered by Brandon Thompson. So Masoli's got a problem with the speakers in his helmet. He's not getting any communication. He was signaling to the sideline.
And the connection made here with Bakari Grant, you get an indication of the value of a big receiver. Those long arms, big catching radius, allowing Grant to outreach the defender.
3rd down, the plunge. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti for some clarification on that helmet situation.
Absolutely, Rod. Just as the half was about to start, Masoli told Ticats equipment guy Drew Stroshine that he was having issues with the speakers in his helmet. Took some time to pull the speakers out of Ja'Cory Harris's helmet, put it in his helmet, but even as he was going on the field, he had connection. The Ticats tried to test it as he just before this drive, but it seems maybe that connection has already been lost, guys.
Yeah, it looks like it may have been restored. We'll have to catch up with that. Thank you, Matthew. And play clock coming down to 4 seconds.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Hamilton has to take a timeout, so clearly there is something amiss. The communication here between huddle and sideline. And Kent Austin is saying there's a problem with the helmet right now and the speakers. So they're going to try to fix this up. So that's Mitchell Gale, the former Argo, the 3rd-string quarterback. So they're taking the speakers out of his helmet. For those that not in the know, some people might not know that there are actual speakers in a quarterback's helmet.
Yeah, that wireless communication between coaches and quarterbacks, and it shows you how much the game has changed, where you used to rely on signals and getting the indication. Now they're relying that much on the wireless sets. I mean, you still have to have the backup with the signal, so you're not forced into this situation. Tight game, and you're using a timeout 5 minutes into the second half.
Using other speakers as well. 1st and 10. Masoli stands in. High toss far side, and Polaris once again. Abdul Kanay has had an outstanding season on the corner for the Red Blacks. Look at this blanket coverage.
Yeah, Kanay right there among the Canadian Football League leaders with 6 interceptions this season. Also had 7 knockdowns, 2nd on the team.
And it's loud here. Masoli play action. Now dishes it off to C.J. Gable. Plows for a few yards, but not enough to get the 1st down. Battle of field position continues.
An opportunity here, given where they're punting from, for Justin Medlock. Try and get this one close to the sidelines, pin the Red Blacks deep in their own territory.
Justin Medlock averaging about 40 yards a punt. Two returners back for the Red Blacks, Camille Smith and Javon Johnson. Medlock's likely going to angle this though. And this is shanked off the side of his foot, and that's going to be a penalty. It can't fly out of bounds between the 20s. So that will be good field position for Henry Burris, Greg Ellingson, and the Red Blacks. Ellingson, one of the fantastic season for Ottawa. 4 receivers, all over 1,000 yards.
Greg Ellingson, the Ottawa Red Blacks swat back, enjoying a pretty good day here. Not quite to the numbers of the regular season finale, in which he had 8 catches, 142 yards, and a hat trick. 3 touchdowns in that ball game, put him over 1,000. Here today, 4 catches, 93 yards for Ellingson. He was the guy who set the tone with 3 of those catches coming on Ottawa's opening scoring drive.
So that bad punt by Medlock, a 16-yard kick, a 10-yard penalty, and this is where it results. 1st and 10 for Ottawa. 8.5 to go, third quarter. From their 52. Burris wants to step up now. He is going down. The first sack of this ball game. Ottawa REDBLACKS get sacked here as Hamilton comes storming, and this is what Ellingson did in pay dirt this year.
Yeah, tied for 3rd in the Canadian Football League with 9 touchdown catches. He's a guy who had great chemistry with Henry Burris a couple seasons ago when they were teammates in Hamilton. Ellingson that year was among the league's leading receivers before an injury ended his season.
Ted Laurent with that last sack. Now the far side for Sinopoli. Still lunging, stretching and fighting, but this is going to depend on the spot. Might be a decision here for Ottawa. It's a long 1.5 yards.
Well, Brad Sinopoli starts tight to the formation. You're seeing an indication as to why.
Looks like the Ottawa REDBLACKS are going to go after this on 3rd down. This is a long yard. It's almost 1.5 yards. 3rd down for the REDBLACKS. Burris, shotgun, handoff, 1st down and more. Boy, the biggest gamble of the game so far. William Powell converts.
I'll try to take advantage of the field position. The Ottawa REDBLACKS want to keep this drive alive. Develop a little momentum. Try and turn this into a 2-score football game.
And want to keep operating with that wind in this 3rd quarter. Hamilton has it in the 4th. Shotgun again, 1st and 10. From behind the target, Chris Williams. Hamilton was providing a little heat that time.
Well, we're starting to see more and more pressure coming from the Hamilton secondary here in the 2nd half of this ball game. Trying to force Henry Burris to get the ball out a little bit quicker. But as you heard Burris mention his halftime interview with Matthew Shinetti, Orlando Steinauer is so great at mixing up the looks, throwing a lot of different things at him.
REDBLACKS 2nd on 2nd down conversions this season behind Hamilton, and Burris is wrapped up and ripped down again.
The perennial East Division All-Star Ted Laurent gets to Burris for the 2nd time on this possession.
Takes them right out of field goal position as well. They'll have to punt. Ted Laurent from that interior.
A little bit of help from coverage. High motor play by Ted Laurent.
Very close to being blocked there. Now Brandon Banks dancing. Down he goes. 16-yard line. Just 2 sacks in this ball game. 2 key ones though. Hamilton Tiger Cats down 5, get 1 from Ted Laurent. And shortly thereafter, they get another. This is the Eastern Final this season in sacks. They're sackless today. But look at that number, 1.3 million pounds of food to help those in need thanks to Purelator. Tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver. Hamilton, 2nd last in sacks, but they've got 2 key ones here today.
Well, they certainly do. They may be down in sacks, but a team that can supply the pressure. That's what's led to a lot of the interceptions you've seen from the Cats secondary this year.
Look at the time from Masoli, and wisely throwing it out of bounds, something he might have learned from his roomie a couple of years ago.
Yeah, again, Masoli, the former understudy to Henry Burris, when the veteran QB was a member of these Tiger Cats. Masoli, a guy who actually broke into the Canadian Football League with the Edmonton Eskimos. He's acquired And a trade along with Simone Lawrence.
High snap, option play. Mazzoli says, my ball. Close to the first down, and this might be a little bit short. Again, Mazzoli slow to get up, but his ability to motor, get out of that pocket and create some options.
Well, he's got a somewhat unique skill set compared to the other quarterbacks that the Tiger Cats have employed this season.
This is going to be third down. We just don't know by how much. And they're looking to the sideline. They don't know what to do. The Hamilton offense. And now the decision's made on third down. So Ottawa went for it. Hamilton is not. And this probably has a lot to do with the field position right now. So they're going to boot it away. Medlock comes back out. Keep in mind his last kick traveled just 16 yards.
And there's a chance that Ottawa will have very good field position again here for another shot while they still have the win.
Here's Smith, far side. There's a penalty flag.
Yeah, it's going to be another 15 because he caught it in the air.
15 yards on a no yards call. Red Blacks will have great field position when we come back to the Eastern Final in Ottawa. Black Nation, Ottawa leads 22-17 as we send it back down to the sideline once again and join Matthew Shinetti.
Guys, we heard Rick Campbell talk about it earlier in the game, that when the Ottawa Red Blacks came to this city, that there was already energy in the stands. Well, also by design, you see the phrase, we are family around TD Place, because that's what the coach wanted to install, a sense of family. When you ask the Red Blacks over the course of the season, there's different ideas about when maybe there was a tipping point. So many players came in, a lot of adjustments. Some say it was after the Argos losses. Some say it was after Labor Day when they beat both BC and Saskatchewan on the road. But speaking of Brad Sinopoli, he said there's just an understanding, unspoken bond. You see offensive linemen mingling with defensive backs. We love each other so much. We've been through so much this season. It's not about the winning. We just don't want this to end, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Tell you one thing, winning does help, though. Makes chemistry seem like it's a lot easier. You've been on championship teams. Wait for it. I ask you, what comes first? Chemistry or winning? Or is it together?
I'm honestly a believer that the chemistry is a huge part of it. You have to have the right mix of guys, and obviously their football ability is first and foremost, but you need good players.
Because they might have loved each other a whole lot last year.
Well,
they were 2-16.
Exactly, and took some time to develop as players and as a team and so on. Sometimes it can take some time, but I can honestly say 98 Stampeders were the best team I ever played on, and I've always said you could have put any two players on that team as roommates together on the road, and they would have gotten along just fine.
2nd and 10 for Burris. Little pump fake goes over the top, but they're going to be short of the first down as Ernest Jackson is pummeled at the 37-yard line. This will bring out the field goal unit now. And again, Ottawa operating with the breeze here. Under 3 minutes to go and trying to make some hay here while they have the wind at their backs.
Yeah, and Ottawa's a team that, as we know, likes that no-huddle offense at the best of times. Always with the wind, you're trying to run as many plays as you possibly can.
Chris Milo. His longest attempt of the day from the 45. Hold, kick, and once again, Chris Milo has done it. 25-17, 3 for 3 is Chris Milo, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider. Grey Cup champion with the Riders. Lost his job there, ends up here. And who knows, might be going back to another Grey Cup game.
Chris Milo, such a great addition to this team. Veteran CFLer, been in the league 5 years now. Started this season with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Became expendable when they acquired the veteran Paul McCallum. Ottawa, a team that had a lot of uncertainty in terms of their place kicking early on, but Chris Milo has solidified that spot.
They went through so many kickers here. half a dozen. Look at all this confusion in the backfield. So much motion, and the Ottawa REDBLACKS weren't biting. And so far today, Brandon Banks has been absolutely stymied.
Yeah, very limited on a couple of touches offensively. We weren't sure if we might see a little bit more of him in the game plan, particularly with Sinkfield out. He hasn't been able to break one in the return game thus far either.
Masoli again with the audible. Now trying to fight through that din. Masoli has trouble now. Play clock down to 2. Just getting it off again. Now in trouble. He throws. He's got Underwood again. Underneath. Taekwon Underwood has been a game breaker here today for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he has been the release valve for Jeremiah Masoli.
I'll tell you what, Jeremiah Masoli is demonstrating some playoff-sized cojones in this football game. Some of the plays that he's made under pressure, standing in, taking hits, the poise, keeping the eyes downfield to score some big first downs. The latest to Taekwon Underwood.
Into Ottawa territory, final minute, third quarter. Down 8, gets hit again, Tasker makes the catch. Jeremiah Masoli, another completion here. Second playoff start, third ever start in the CFL. Got the win last week, started against Toronto. Was benched for a bit and then helped lead his team with 7 straight completions in the 4th. There's the option.
Great read.
Well played. C.J. Gable running out of bounds right at the first down marker.
Perfect execution on the option there by Masoli. End crashes. He pitches. There's a man they're trying to isolate. Sean Lemon on the edge. He crashes to the quarterback. There goes the pitch. If he plays the pitch, Masoli would have turned it up inside himself.
First and 10. Last play, third quarter, barring penalty. Play action again, Masoli. And now looking the other way and confusion. Incomplete. Looking for Anthony Woodson. Didn't know the ball was coming. But the Cats are driving. Good close ball game here. Both quarterbacks humming. Both teams dreaming of a trip to the Grey Cup game in Winnipeg next week. Will it be Ottawa? Will it be Hamilton? We'll find out. Fourth quarter, straight ahead from the nation's capital. Here we go to the fourth quarter in Ottawa. The REDBLACKS trying to get back to a Grey Cup game. First time in a long time, leading 25-17. Really a pick 'em ball game here today in so many ways.
Yeah, it really is, and we're looking at an 8-point game, so still a one-possession game. But the Tiger Cats could be within less than a field goal if you look at a couple of key mistakes. Think back to the end of the first half when the Ticats were deep in their own end. Taekwon Underwood caught that second down pass short of the first down, went out of bounds and stopped the clock. That helped Ottawa to be in position to kick that late field goal right at the end of the half. Now here in the second half, Hamilton punting from deep in their own end. They take a no yards penalty. Jamil Smith does a nice job catching the ball in the air. That's 15 yards that allows Milo to be within field goal range on that last drive. 6 points that potentially could have been avoided in this close football game.
Hamilton driving the ball here. Masoli again delivers to Tasker. They connect once again. This also may require a measurement. We'll see where the spot is. It looks like they're going to spot it just inside the 25-yard line. This might be a first down. A week ago, the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Eastern semifinal trailed by 5 points. Came back and won the ball game. They could become the comeback Cats here again a week later.
Well, I'll give them a lot of credit. One of the things that stood out, those stats at the end of the third quarter, they're winning the time of possession right now, which teams do not do against Ottawa.
Masoli to the end zone. In traffic was Bakari Grant. Double coverage there. And Grant wanted to know if there was some contact before that ball was in the area, not getting that call. So it will be 2nd down and 10 now for Mazzoli and the Cats.
Well, Bakari Grant's the number 2 receiver in this formation, working on the left side of that formation, right from the hash. Gets a decent release to the post. And Mazzoli narrowly misses the window.
Well, is this Tasker time? It looked like Tasker was offside. Looking for Luke Tasker. He's got it. Touchdown, but I don't think this is counting. This is going to come back, I think. He was offside, it looked like.
Offside. Hamilton, number 17. 5-yard penalty remains 2nd down.
Great catch by Luke Tasker, but he had about a 4-yard head start.
There you clearly see Luke Tasker. Solid 2 or 3 yards ahead of the snap.
So bring it back 5, make it 2nd and 15. Just 1 penalty for the Ottawa REDBLACKS in this ballgame. It's almost unheard of. 2nd down, motion again. And all of this right now, these calls, offside procedures are all related to the 13th man, the crowd here.
Procedure. Hamilton, number 61. 5-yard penalty remains 2nd down.
It is impossible to hear anything near that line of scrimmage.
Well, this is what we talked about early on. Remember the importance of keeping this crowd out of the game as best as you can, not letting Ottawa get the momentum that makes this group a little more rabid than they already are. Right now, they know they're impacting the Tiger Cats' execution. That's going to ramp them up even more.
2nd and 20. Time for Mazzoli. Slinging it out of bounds. An overthrow had Grant on the sideline. Would have still been short of a 1st down, but it would have made it a lot easier on Justin Medlock. Who's going to come out and try a field goal here. He's got plenty of leg, and he's got the wind behind him here in the 4th. Medlock has been automatic most of this season into the playoffs, and of course the hero last week for the Cats at home against the Argos. 90% almost this season. 1 for 1 today. 42-yarder. Butter. 5-point game again. It all started with William Powell. First touchdown of the game. Back and forth we have gone. Major slugfest here in the Eastern Final in Ottawa. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Shadows getting longer here in Ottawa. TD Place Stadium. Full house, 25,000 strong. Couple hundred from Hamilton. Good ball game. Eastern Final. Henry Burris against the wind in the 4th. William Powell dropped it. 5-point lead for Ottawa.
There you see the impact that William Powell has had this season since taking over at running back. Just 4 starts, almost 500 yards from scrimmage for him.
10 touches, 62 yards for Powell today. Burris fires now. Ernest Jackson collects it near the 50. Eric Harris brought him down. Henry Burris. Season for the ages, or aged, because he's done so much at the tender age of 40. Continuing to put up big yards here today.
Well, Henry Burris with every game sends that reminder that he's still more than capable.
Age is only a number. Powell slipped up there. Collision with Simone Lawrence. So it's going to be second down here. Likely a throwing down for Burris, who has done so much, set a record this season for completions. Set a record for completions in a game. 6 touchdowns in a game to end the season. Trying to get back to the Grey Cup. Now launching, and we might have interference there, or will we? No. Looked like a collision. It was just a traffic jam downfield looking for Mo Price.
And you see Ed Gainey in on coverage. Gainey's a guy who's been able to play some more snaps defensively. You see Mo Price, the outside receiver here. It's actually the injury to Eric Norwood, with a Canadian replacing the American, Gaston Nadal, in for him, that's allowed Gainey to play more snaps defensively at that field corner spot.
Price ran right into the back of Gainey. So Brandon Banks nullified today. That ball was loose. He touched it. Ottawa says it's their ball.
But it looks like a no yards flag is down.
No yards. So that will make it moot.
And Banks doesn't have to have control of the ball. They have to be outside that 5-yard radius at the time that he touches the ball.
That might have been the Red Blacks' ball had there not been no yards. Looks like it may have even been out of bounds, though. So it should be Hamilton football still. Al Bradbury, his crew. Again, that orange piece of nylon. Hamilton bench not very happy right now. They may rule this is Ottawa's football.
We'll see what the flag is down for then.
Is this no yards, or is this an illegal block? Or
it's possible there could have been a hold down there. It might have been a hold.
There's not. That's definitely within the radius.
No yards. Ottawa, number 21. 5-yard penalty. Hamilton, first down.
Crowd doesn't like it, nor does Chris Milo. Hamilton football, 5-point game. Eastern final, trip to the Grey Cup on the line. Defensive coordinator of the Red Blacks, Mark Nelson. Let's go down to the sideline and join our coach, Paul Lapalisse.
In the third quarter, the Red Blacks were rushing 4 people, and Jeremiah Masoli did a good job of stepping up in the pocket and buying time. This last series, the Red Blacks defense started rushing 6 guys, 6 offensive players, 6 defensive players. Less time for the quarterback as the chess game continues down here, guys.
All right, thank you, Coach. Loads of time left. Masoli now. Play action again on that zone read and goes back against the grain. And once again has Underwood.
A nice job there. The combination of Masoli rolling as well as the running back Gable getting out to the flat off that run fake. That's going to pull defenders to the right. Opens up a window on the inside to Taekwon Underwood.
Short yardage play to try to get that first down on second down. They'll do that. And Taekwon Underwood over 100 yards today. All the talk coming in about Luke Tasker and Bakari Grant and Andy Fantuz, not to mention Brandon Banks, and cannot forget about Taekwon Underwood, the former star from Rutgers. Now he'll play with the Jaguars in the NFL. There's the Hawaiian in his first game. Aloha Polaris. Interesting today with Polaris and Troy Davis. This is the first time in CFL history that 2 players make their CFL debuts for one team in a playoff game.
Yeah, remarkable. The Hamilton Tiger Cats have gone through in terms of the roster. Polaris has been on the practice roster since September, on for Sinkfield, Terrell Sinkfield, and Troy Davis on the roster in place of the injured defensive end Eric Norwood.
Masoli has to hurry again. Problems with the communication again. And CJ Gable leaping. So Jeremiah Masoli resorting to anything right now. He would love to have some earmuffs, I'm sure, but that's the best that he's going to do.
Yeah, cut that wind a little bit, particularly when he's relying on the communication system.
So they're going to be short by about a yard despite Gable's best efforts. So it is punt time again for Medlock. Red Blacks will send 2 back again. Jamil Smith and Javon Johnson. Trying to set up a return. Spiraling kick with the win. Jamil Smith slips up. Down at the 32-yard line. Well, familiarity breeds contempt, they say. It also leads to a berth in the Grey Cup game. 2 teams have met 3 times in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not just the fact that they've played each other 3 times in the last 4 weeks, but played each other in 3 meaningful games. 3 games with a playoff intensity in the last 4 weeks.
So much subtext to this one. Henry Burris against his old team. Team that cast him away, really. Burris now, nowhere to go. Goes through his reads. Finds the big man, Scott McDonnell. Henry Burris sees a bullseye on those Tiger Cats.
Those last 2 games allowed me to kind of, get that off my chest, I can say. Because getting those 2 big victories, I never had to look at him once. I never had to do any gestures to let those guys know, yeah, back at you or anything. Because like I've always said, the best way to get back at your adversaries for letting you go is by going out and having success. Because to me, that's the way you drive it home. But this is the dagger game. I mean, this is a game, a chance to drive the dagger and let it truly be felt.
Well, Henry Burris with a dagger again. He's already done some running for a touchdown earlier. That one, it looks like for a first down or very close to it. So Henry Burris with a chip on that shoulder pad. Lunges.
Yeah, Burris, whose mobility has been so severely compromised in the previous 2 meetings between these teams, as he got hurt late in week 18. But definitely looking more like his old self, getting on the move already with a rushing touchdown in this ball game, scrambling. But as you just saw, a first down there.
Crazy year for Henry Burris. Should be named the most outstanding player next week. Over 5,600 yards passing, 26 touchdowns. Won't matter, he says, though. He wants to get to that Grey Cup game. He fires and, oh, what a catch! Oh, what a catch! Ellingson says he got it. The officials say no. They are waving that off. I thought for a moment that Greg Ellingson may have had the catch of the year. Wow.
This will require a closer look because he may have had the hands underneath it to pop it up.
Look at this.
Did it pop up off the fingertips or did it skip just in front of his fingertips?
They are throwing the challenge flag. They were waiting, they were watching. Rick Campbell was listening to his spotters upstairs and was watching the big screen. And like us, I think Greg Ellingson may have just made a Cirque du Soleil catch.
Well, remarkable concentration to stay with it regardless.
Ottawa is challenging the previous play, feeling it is a completed pass. This will be reviewed.
You talk about an acrobatic catch with the help of some juggling skills.
Just tough to tell exactly where it skipped. From that angle, it looked like it may have skipped just in front of the fingertips.
May get a better look right here.
Watch to see if there's sort of a spray of the pebbles from the turf.
Again, the ruling was no catch. The display has to be, the review has to be indisputable. May have been a skip there. Wow. Or was that skip that we're seeing off of the bottom of his hand? They're looking at it at CFL Command.
We'll get as tight a look as we can here.
That did not hit the ground.
Ellingson saying that did not hit the ground. Challenge continues. Let's try to use some technology here. Let's try to blow this up. Great.
And it's honestly, to me, it's tough to tell if it's a shadow. It looks like there's just a bit of a spray from the turf, but bear in mind, Ellingson's hands are going to the turf as well.
Like right
that may
there.
Cause that.
That might have been his hand that brought that ball up and then was able to catch it.
Yeah, I think he got the fingertips just underneath it.
Absolutely.
From that angle to me, looks like a catch.
Well, again, they're going to look at this at every possible angle. No, the crowd, particularly the folks in front of us, think that it's a catch. They've seen it a couple of times. But again, it has to be absolutely conclusive. Here's the best look, maybe. Wow.
That one looks good. Again, to me, two of those angles look pretty good to me.
If they rule this a catch, they may have to go back and look at the catches of the year, because this would have to be one of them.
Yeah.
Al Bradbury waits for the signal. This crowd will erupt. We'll let the crowd take it away here to decide the decision. All right, here's the verdict.
After review by the command center, there is not enough visual evidence to overturn this call. The ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass, second down.
Well, you know what the crowd thinks. Tell you what, that was so close. But again, it had to be absolutely conclusive.
And then that's, again, the ruling on replay with inconclusive evidence is it all hinges on the original call.
So after that delay, 2nd and 10. Doesn't matter. This one's good. Catch made. Chris Williams. First down.
Yeah, Henry Burris takes the snap here and says, whatever.
Bingo.
Right down the money.
Hauling it in. Time ticks away here. 6.5 to go. One possession game. End around for Williams. Scoots right. Looks like he has 8 yards on this game. Enough time to manage this clock as well for Henry Burris and the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Has been a remarkable voyage this season. Turning their year around. 2nd and 3, quick hitter, dangerous toss.
Well, the bobble there almost ended up in the hands of Rico Murray.
And now, again, it's going to come on the foot of Chris Milo. 3 for 3 today. This one, though, keep in mind, will come against the wind. Let up a little bit here now. Near the 43-yard line to restore an 8-point lead. Milo has been perfect today. Ottawa is jumping. Still lots of time left, though. But they're 5 minutes and 53 seconds away from punching a ticket to the Grey Cup. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by Wendy's Gouda Bacon Cheeseburger and Bacon Fondue Fries. Wendy's, now that's better. And by Shaw, proud sponsor and fan of the Canadian Football League. Battle of Alberta to be waged after this one. Battle of Ontario, battle in the East. Chris Milo is going to require some assistance to tee this off, and a guy who's been very silent today. You know he's a game breaker. Might he have something to say yet?
Yeah, silent so far.
Brandon Banks is back. 8-point ball game. Bit of a grounder here. Freddie Plessius picks it up. Plessius drives it up near the 52-yard line, so good field position for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they bring their offense back on the field.
Now the pressure not just on for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but the record of Kent Austin on the line here as a head coach, a guy whose only postseason losses have come in the Grey Cup, has never lost a division semi or a division final. Hamilton Tiger Cats, his third season at the helm of this team. Having been to the Grey Cup each of the last 2 seasons.
They aren't done yet by any stretch. Mazzoli on the run. Covered there by Thompson is Bakari Grant. Again, looking for a flag, not getting one. Coming up to second down here.
Brandon Thompson with him step for step on that one. Tough catch to make with the ball down low.
Game that's gone back and forth. Hamilton struck first with a field goal, then lead seesawed a number of times. Masoli from the pocket delivers over the middle to Pilaris. And they are saying that is a catch. Aloha Pilaris.
Well, Pilaris working across the field. He's coming from another close call, but he goes down and gets this one.
And the guy filling in for Terrell Sinkfield. 1st and 10, Cats. Ottawa territory, deep drop, Masoli ducks one, throws now, and turning and looking like he has a first down is Andy Fantuz. One of the big game players who makes big plays.
Well, Fantuz has a chip on the end to start and then just works across the formation. Jeremiah Masoli again doing a nice job using his feet to extend that play.
It was 2nd and inches. Penalty flag was thrown. May have drawn Ottawa offside here.
Offside, Ottawa, number 74. 5-yard penalty becomes first down.
We're getting very interesting in these final minutes of the Eastern Final.
Defense, baby. Number one. Defense, come on.
This is the Red Blacks' 3rd penalty. Zoli again. Hangs in and almost picked off by Javon Johnson. That might have been the sealer right there. Cats still have life.
A great break on the football there by the veteran, Javon Johnson.
Very tight window on that pass. Mazzoli has had great protection today. His ability to scramble, no sacks. Throws it, nowhere to go. Not this time. Damaso Munoz stops Andy Fantuz in his tracks. So now a chance again to make it a 5-point deficit if Justin Medlock can convert this field goal.
Well, this would be a big one, as at the very least takes off the pressure to have to go for that 2-point convert should they be able to score in the final minutes.
With the wind, Medlock This one is wide left. Jamil Smith is going to give up the point. But it does make it a 7-point game.
Exactly. The point still has value.
BMO Raptors basketball on TSN continues Wednesday. Talk about a big game. A guy named LeBron James comes to Toronto. The Cavs and Raps. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. This has been a good one. We're getting close to the 3-minute warning. Hamilton Tiger Cats need a big stop here. Need a stand. And again, they do have the win. 28-21, Burris. Pistol formation now with Powell behind him. Now he'll move to his right for blocking help. Slant pattern. Incomplete. And now the 3-minute warning is issued to both benches. What a game this has been. Not over yet.
Reminder that as soon as this one is done, Mike Riley and the Eskimos will try to do what they couldn't last year, beat the Stamps and go to the Grey Cup. But still much to be decided here. The Eastern Championship trophy awaits the Ticats or the Red Blacks.
.244 and counting. Key second down here for the Red Blacks. They'll use up the play clock here. Cats loaded up. Looked like they might have jumped. And almost picked. Ottawa O-line wanted an offside call.
Well, the Cats were showing blitz all the way. Craig Butler was among those crowding the line of scrimmage. A couple of defenders bailed out Simone Lawrence. Among those getting back into zones to help close and tighten those windows a little bit on Henry Burris.
Quiet all day. Brandon Banks is back. One of the most dangerous in the history of the game. Banks, no yards. A 15-yard penalty because he caught that on the fly.
Well, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats this season, all about unfinished business, and it's been a process since Kent Austin took over as their head coach in 2013. They made it to the Grey Cup that year. Unable to finish the journey. Losing in 2013. 2014, they thought they had it done. A late penalty flag wiped out that Brandon Banks punt return and left them again just one game short for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Looking for another shot at redemption.
Well, that was a critical no yards call. Ball is spotted at the Ottawa 49.5. Jeremiah Mazzoli, underdog before this game, certainly. Not many people gave the Cats young quarterback much of a shot here. He's got a chance to tie this ball game. Quick trigger. Near sideline for Tasker. Jeremiah Mazzoli almost over 300 yards passing here.
Well, I think that one will put him just over 28 of 38 on the day. For anybody who thought that Jeremiah Mazzoli might be the weak link for the Hamilton Tiger Cats coming into this football game, this kid has been anything but.
Think again, he's been outstanding. Four receivers to the left, hangs in, catch is made, and still on his feet is Tasker. Luke Tasker down near the score zone. What a clutch grab from the Ticats slot back.
A strike by Mazzoli, great effort after the catch by Luke Tasker. He's going to be the trailer here working across the field, and a tremendous second effort after the catch, fighting off the jam of Kane, working through the tackle, moving the sticks for a guy who tied for third in the league in second down catches this season.
Again, great protection, got a shot here. Did he make it? Yes, he did. What a catch! Oh my! Luke Tasker, touchdown!
Remember when Tasker was offside? Similar place, similar matchup, same area of the field. You wondered when they might have a chance to go back to it.
What a grab by Luke Tasker. Lays out.
Antoine Pruneau is right in his hip pocket as he was the previous time. Tasker caught the ball on the sidelines, but it was called back. This time laying out, pulling it to the body, turning to ensure that the ball won't be jarred loose. Tremendous effort and concentration by Luke Tasker.
That's got to be top 10 material again for the season. Luke Tasker, sensational, and now a 32-yard point after that is critical for Justin Medlock, who's been the best in the CFL this season in point afters, and he is again, and we are all tied.
These two teams that came down to their final two games of the regular season tied up. The battle for first place in the East came down to week 20. This game should not be going any other way.
We could be headed for overtime. However, the Ottawa REDBLACKS still have plenty of time. Oh my goodness, that is a spectacular catch from cool hands Luke Tasker.
A tough matchup there for Antoine Pruneau, who's got the inside leverage. Safety Jermaine Robinson couldn't quite get there over the top to help out. Mazzoli puts it in a perfect place where I'm not sure anybody other than Luke Tasker could catch it.
Somewhere on one of the broadcasts in the States, on the sideline, Steve Tasker has got a mobile device, and he just might have jumped through the roof. Jeremiah Mazzoli continues to spin magic here. What a terrific ball game. 28-28, still not over. Hank, it's up to you now. Jamil Smith with some blocks. Smith picks his way to the 32. So Henry Burris, chance to lead his team to Winnipeg right here, right now.
Well, this is an Ottawa team for whom the greatest demon they had to exercise going from 2014 to 2015 was an inability to win close games. Henry Burris, 6 game-winning drives this season. He couldn't want anything more desperately than he wants to make that number 7.
But he has to get some first downs. He has to get his team in field goal range. That doesn't help, but it was dropped. Arnaud Gascon-Nadon dropped the football. There is a penalty flag back at the 17-yard line. That could have been the ball game right there because the Cats would have been in instant field position.
Well, Gascon-Nadon is going to drop from his defensive end spot.
Could not hang on. Can't believe it. Burris threw it right in his
Major
mitts.
foul. Chalk block. Ottawa, number 64. 15-yard penalty. After the down, it'll be second down. Second down.
Watch Ted Laurent right on the nose here, and Jamichael Dean, the left guard, goes low on him when he's engaged with another player.
Now this gets anxious for Ottawa fans. This is second in an area code. 2nd and 25. If they can't get a first down, if they do have to kick, they're kicking into the wind, kicking against Banks. And again, Hamilton might have a chance to win it themselves because Medlock did it last week and has a chance maybe to do it again this week.
Meanwhile, Arnaud Gascon-Nadon will be seeing that ball coming at him in his dreams.
Chris Milo waits, but his team needs a huge play right here to get out of a hole. If they don't, Hamilton's going to get good field position. High snap. 3-man rush. Burris now. Down the sideline. Oh, it's caught. What a catch. Down the sideline goes Ellickson. He's going to score a touchdown. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ellingson, the cat killer.
Henry Burris, Ticats didn't want him. Greg Ellingson, Ticats didn't want him. But the two of them just hooked up on a monster play. 93-yard touchdown to take the lead with just over a minute left in the East Division Final.
If they hang on, we may have just seen the miracle at TD Place. That on 2nd and 25. Greg Ellingson does it again. There still is time with 1:11 left. Absolutely astonishing. Greg Ellingson's first 4 catches at this game totaled 93 yards. His 5th catch, maybe one that they'll remember forever here, also totaled 93 yards.
That gives him 5 catches for 186 in this ball game. The last time these two teams met, it was Ellingson with 8 catches for 142 yards. 328 yards on 13 catches, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games against his old team. He's the wide man on that side. There's no secret what's going on. He's just down the sideline. Ed Gainey misjudges it, loses his footing. Ellingson stays with it, and away he went.
It has been a season of red-black magic. Can they hang on to get a crack at the Grey Cup? But look out, Brandon Banks down the sideline. So 1:03 to go. Don't go anywhere. When you think about the odds of that happening in that situation, you know, Ottawa's got to be thinking, we got to get out of this hole, kick it back, maybe think about the defense, and all of a sudden that happens.
2nd and 25. And they very nearly had an interception on the previous play.
Arnaud Gascon-Nadon, we'll be seeing that for a while. Can they come back some more? Bobbled. They're saying it is incomplete. 58 to go. This is CFL football at its finest.
Just a remarkable football game. 2 incredibly well-matched teams.
Masoli now dancing, and for the first time today they get to Jeremiah Masoli, and it's coming down to 1 play. Last gasp now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Well, the Red Blacks did it to them. Can they counter punch? 3rd and 14. This is it. This is it. Deep drop. Underwood. That's it. What is it? 40 seconds remain. And Henry Burris and the Ottawa Red Blacks can start booking their reservations for Winnipeg, Manitoba, and next Sunday. On a stunning finish to this ball game. Tyquan Underwood could not leap up for that. Incomplete. Kent Austin, his Cats will not be going back to another Grey Cup game. A season strife with injury and challenge. Red Blacks will keep it on the ground.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Henry Burris will be going to Winnipeg with his teammates.
He wouldn't have it any other way.
He's going to be named the most outstanding player in an outstanding season, one of his greatest. And he has a chance to take an expansion team from last year.
2-16 a year ago, 12-6. But the turnaround wouldn't be complete without playoff success.
And a catch and a play that will live like the Clements to Gabriel.
Amen.
Been so long here in this city just to have football back. Just to have football back. Now they've got a winning team. They're going to the Grey Cup game. 3rd and 1. Time ticks down.
Timeout, Ottawa.
They'll take their timeout. They'll get ready here. Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable turnaround. Worst to first.
Well, we've talked from the start of this season about the Ottawa REDBLACKS being a team that won the offseason. Busy in the free agent market, bolstering this roster. But it would all mean nothing. They couldn't win on the field. They did it in the regular season. They're doing it here in the playoffs. One more to go for the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
You're not supposed to do this 1 year after expansion. You're going to bring the sticks out here and prolong the celebration.
And I'll tell you right now that the expansion formula isn't one that's necessarily built for instant success.
Here it is, folks. They've waited a long time in this city. Their amazing ride in 2015 will continue. Newborn, reborn last year. The Ottawa REDBLACKS are going to the Grey Cup. Whoever would have thought this was possible? Henry Burris did. Chance to become the second oldest quarterback to ever win. Behind Damon Allen, who won at 41. Henry Burris could win the Grey Cup at 40 next week. Wouldn't that be something if it was against another one of his old teams, the Stampeders, who will play the Eskimos very shortly in the West Final. Expansion teams aren't supposed to do that a year after getting back on the field. They are. They're going to the Grey Cup.
As you just saw, I mean, this game's going to go down as a classic. You just saw a shot of Jeremiah Masoli. It wouldn't have been a classic without the performance of that young man.
Henry Burris, most outstanding player. His team's going to the Grey Cup. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti with a guy who changed this game.
Greg, they said it wasn't a catch before, that catch over the middle, but you surely went ahead. You made a play to take Ottawa to the Grey Cup. How did it feel?
It's surreal. The amount of emotion I had when I was running towards the sideline, I was speechless. I was just wanting my teammates to come, celebrate with me. I want to go celebrate with them now and take this to the Grey Cup and win it.
We maybe don't appreciate all the component parts of this team. It's not just one player. It's been a family. Take us through that.
Definitely. It's just, you look across the board, right? We have 4,000-yard receivers. We spread the ball around. We have a running back that went down that was great. Another one that comes in that's doing an exceptional job. Our O-line just holds up, and our defense makes plays. It helps us win.
What was the discussion in the huddle before that throw that Henry gave you?
There's no discussion. It's just a play that we have in the offense. You just get the play, you want to go out, you want to execute it, and that was a play that I knew my number was going to be called. I just hoped that I could go up and make that play, and I did.
You and I talked about maybe going to preseason that you might be going to the Grey Cup. You're going to Winnipeg now. How does it feel?
It's unreal. I can't wait.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Absolutely astounding catch. Greg Ellingson, after Luke Tasker made a great one too, our Nissan Titan player of the game. There is no doubt. Greg Ellingson started this game off with 3 straight catches, led to a touchdown by William Powell. And a guy who single-handedly has destroyed the Hamilton Tiger Cats over the last 2 games.
Greg Ellingson started it. Greg Ellingson finished it. 13 catches, 328 yards, 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games against his former team. None bigger than the last one. Greg Ellingson, a unanimous choice as the Nissan Titan player of the game.
Unbelievable. Henry Burris has seen it all. He's with Matthew Shinetti. I don't know if he's ever seen something like this.
Greg? Henry. So they didn't want Greg Ellingson. Hamilton didn't want Greg Ellingson. They didn't want you. How fitting was it that you to Ellingson takes Ottawa to the Grey Cup?
You know what? It's funny, after that play, both Greg and I said the same thing. Things happen for a reason, and this was a crazy game. I didn't throw the ball well today, but all it took was one play to truly turn that around and make it happen. That's the reason why we got Greg up here. That's the reason why I lobbied, hey, we got to get Greg Ellingson up here. He's a big-time player. He makes big plays when we need him. And, man, it was more – it couldn't have been a better, script to end it than to end it that way. Because Greg wanted to do a lot of great things in Hamilton as well as I did. And, for us to be able to end it that way, doing it together, man, he made one heck of a play and was able to put us up for good to get this big win.
Take us through the idea of family here. You said that over the last 2 games against Hamilton, you thought about the Ticats, but no more. What's on your mind now before you go to Winnipeg?
You know what? Just to see Nicole, Armand, and Barron, that's what it was all about. To be able to see those 3 and for us to come together and enjoy that big hug there for that moment, it's what this is all about. Like I said, we've been through so much during this journey, help turn organizations around, and all of a sudden you're told, no, your service is no longer needed. And to be able to come here and place where, we've been able to turn a brand new organization around and be able to do it together as a family with this city. This is truly remarkable. And, for me, my last chapter of being here in Ottawa, this couldn't be, this is not the end. But, to this season, what we've been able to do, I think this would be a book. I got to write a book about this one day because it couldn't be more fitting and a perfect way to write a story as far as in the final chapter.
What'd you tell your boys when you hugged them?
I was like, guys, this is what it's all about. This is the hard work that Dad puts in, getting up those early mornings, telling you to get your sleep, telling you to do this, telling you to do that. It pays off in the end because things like this happen. It just seemed like it was our destiny today. And I told them, when you do the right things, somebody always looks out for you in the end. And I promise you, somebody was looking out for us today.
You're going to Winnipeg, Henry. How does it feel?
Oh, man, I can't even put it into words. Of course, I'm about to get emotional again. Is this a Jerry Maguire moment? But whatever it is, this is a sweet feeling. And to be able to get this done here in front of our home crowd in a dramatic type of way, it was big time.
Thanks. Thanks, Henry.
Thank you so much.
Rod and Dwayne.
Yeah, you don't see Henry Burris get that emotional too often. Smiling Hank has a lot of reason to be smiling today. Greg Ellingson, you will never forget this game, ever, nor will the fans in Ottawa. Stunningly, this team a year ago, back in the CFL, 2-16 struggled. They are going to play for the Grey Cup, the championship, next week.
They believed in the program. A year ago, they may not have gotten the results, but the core group of this team believed in the program, believed in the message being delivered by their head coach, Rick Campbell, week after week. That man, Marcel Desjardins, went out, added a few more pieces to the puzzle, but the message and the program never changed. And now a year later, they're going to the Cup.
Henry Burris, most outstanding player this season, no doubt. They're going to get the trophy. They want one more trophy next week. Let's go down to James Duthie now.
All right, thank you, Rod. Ottawa, I know you've waited for this more than 3 decades. The wait is over. Jim Husson, the chairman of the Canadian Football League, is here to present the East Division Championship Trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, congratulations to both teams for a greatly played football game. Secondly, congratulations to the Ottawa ownership group, Marcel Desjardins and his group, the entire Ottawa REDBLACKS team, and mostly the fans of Ottawa. Congratulations. And now, it's my great pleasure to award the Eastern Division Championship Trophy to Coach Campbell, and we look forward to seeing all of you next week for the 103rd Grey Cup in Winnipeg.
Coach, come on in. I know all your players and your staff members say you're a very even keel, level-headed guy, but this moment and that game must have tested that.
Yeah. Hey, these guys, I give them credit, they always find a way to get it done. And hey, this one is for our nation all the way. Thank you, our nation.
You have to tell me what you were thinking on 2nd and 25, knowing that if you gave up the ball against the wind, Hamilton would be in really good shape to win this football game.
You got to believe. You know, that's not always the way you draw it up, but I give these guys credit. We're always talking about hanging together and believing and finding a way to get it done. Hamilton's a great football team. It's about making one more play than they did, and fortunately, we were able to do that.
How does one take a 2-16 football team and turn it to a 12-6 football team that goes to the Grey Cup?
Because we're a building franchise. We had a lot of great guys here last year. We just needed to keep adding pieces to the puzzle and keep getting better. And this is a great place to play football because we got the greatest fans.
Congratulations, best of luck in Winnipeg.
Thank you.
Rick Campbell, the coach of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, off to the Grey Cup. Guys?
Well, often you don't want to touch a trophy, but it's been so long in Ottawa, they'll touch anything. They got the Eastern Championship Trophy, one half of the CFL Championship. Who will they play? That's still to be determined. An incredible finish, an incredible day. The incredible journey of the Ottawa REDBLACKS will continue. Red, black magic in Red Black Nation. Unforgettable. Eastern Division champs.